is Tuesday, October 20. Welcome to CGN News. Antigua and Barbuda health authorities have confirmed that several toddlers have been placed into quarantine after a 4-year-old tested positive for the coronavirus COVID-19. Antigua and Barbuda has recorded 119 cases of the virus, with 15 cases being active. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Rhonda Seeley-Thomas said she is satisfied that the relevant measures have been taken at the school to minimize the spread of the virus among children. The Ministry of Education on Monday sent letters to parents stating that the entire class and teacher would have been placed in quarantine for 14 days. Testing of students and their parents would begin soon. A United States court has granted a motion permanently blocking the Trump administration's attempts to deny food assistance to hundreds of thousands of Americans, including Caribbean nationals, by changing the rules for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP. New York Attorney General Letitia James told the Caribbean Media Corporation that in a time of national crisis, this decision is a win for common sense and basic human decency. In her ruling on Sunday, Chief U.S. District Judge Beryl Howell said that despite the devastating effects of the coronavirus COVID-19, the Trump administration continued to pursue this rule. Justice Howell said that the rule at issue in this litigation radically and abruptly alters decades of regulatory practice, leaving states scrambling and increasing food insecurity for tens of thousands of Americans. Opposition politicians in Haiti on Monday said that they have no intention of collaborating with President Jovenel Moïse. This as they staged demonstrations in the capital over the weekend calling for him to step down. Moïse used the anniversary to reiterate calls for unity and the need for all parties to come together to ensure a brighter future for the country. But he stayed away from the site of the Dessalines assassination so as not to provoke the opposition parties, which had declared last Sunday a day of anti-government mobilization. Several opposition leaders who participated in the protests told CMC reporters that Moïse's term will end in 3 months, but the people will not wait 3 months to demand his departure. The ability of prisoners to direct their criminal operations from behind bars with the use of cell phones will soon be curtailed. This as the Jamaican government is taking steps to amend the outdated Corrections Act. Officials from the Ministry of National Security said the amendments will result in criminal charges being leveled against inmates found in possession of contraband. Some of the island's most dangerous prisoners have been known to order hits from behind bars and to continue running extortion rackets while serving long prison sentences. In June, Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang said that 24 such prisoners had been identified and were moved to newly constructed cells. The new cells are reportedly equipped with technology that blocks communication signals. Agriculture ministers from CARICOM on Monday joined their counterparts from Latin America for a 3-day meeting aimed at finding solutions to the challenges of food and agriculture in the region. The meeting, organized by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, brought together representatives of the private sector, the academic and scientific world, and civil society. The discussions center on how to transform food systems, generate prosperous rural societies, and a sustainable and resilient agriculture post-COVID-19 climate. The 36th FAO Regional Conference, taking place virtually with Nicaragua as the host country, is the highest governing body of FAO in the region. The number of confirmed COVID-19 cases globally has surpassed 40 million. But experts say that is only the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the true impact of the pandemic that has upended life and work around the world. The milestone was hit Monday morning, according to Johns Hopkins University, which collates reports from around the world. The actual worldwide tally of COVID-19 cases is likely to be far higher, as many people have had no symptoms and some governments have concealed the true number of cases. The Associated Press states that to date, more than 1.1 million confirmed virus deaths have been reported, although experts also believe that number is an undercount. Nigeria's protests against police brutality turned violent on Monday when a crowd stormed a prison and freed inmates in Benin City in southern Nigeria. Some prisoners jumped from a high fence of the institution, while others were seen running away on the street, according to videos from the scene. Local media reports say that as many as 200 prisoners may have escaped. Protesters also attacked police stations and police trucks in other parts of the country. For more than 2 weeks, Nigeria has been rocked by demonstrations protesting alleged police brutality. The demonstrations began in response to a viral video showing a man being beaten by members of the police special anti-robbery squad known as SARS. U.S. President Donald Trump on Monday said Sudan will be removed from the U.S. list of state sponsors of terrorism if it follows through on its pledge to pay $335 million to American terror victims and their families. The move would open the door for the African country to get international loans and aid needed to revive its battered economy and rescue the country's transition to democracy. The announcement, just 2 weeks ahead of the U.S. presidential election, also comes as the Trump administration works to get other Arab countries to join the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain's recent recognition of Israel. Delisting Sudan from the state sponsors blacklist is a key initiative for the Sudanese government to normalize relations with Israel. Sudan has agreed to pay compensation for victims of the 1998 bombings of the U.S. embassies in Kenya and Tanzania, attacks conducted by Osama bin Laden's al-Qaeda network while bin Laden was living in Sudan. A parole board in Louisiana granted parole for a black man Thursday after the state Supreme Court initially denied his appeal, CNN reports. Fair Wayne Bryant, 63, was sentenced in 1997 to life in prison for stealing hedge clippers. He was convicted of 1 count of attempted simple burglary. In August, 5 of the 6 state Supreme Court justices upheld the Bryant's life sentence and denied his appeal. His sentence was sanctioned under the habitual offender law. He was convicted in 1979, 1987, 1989, and 1992, and then in 1997 for the failed attempt at stealing the hedge clippers. Supreme Court Chief Justice Burnett Johnson, the only dissenting judge on Bryant's case, said Bryant's sentence is a modern manifestation of pig laws. The laws criminalized recently emancipated African American citizens by introducing extreme sentences for petty theft associated with poverty, Johnson wrote. Jeffrey Toobin is trending on Twitter, and not in a good way. The New Yorker magazine has suspended the longtime writer while it investigates a foul-up that, according to reports, left his genitals exposed while on a Zoom call last week with colleagues at a radio station. The 60-year-old, a writer with the New Yorker for 25 years, is also taking a leave of absence from CNN, for whom he works on air as a legal analyst. Toobin, a Harvard University graduate, apologized in a statement to Vice, saying he thought that he had turned his camera off at the time of the incident. The Zoom call was reportedly an election simulation involving many of the magazine's biggest stars. Toobin, who lives in New York with his wife, has been a staff writer at The New Yorker since 1993 and a CNN contributor since 2002. The couple have 3 children together. That's it for CGN News. I'm Scott Wilson. Thanks for watching.